Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We have a unbagging today of the latest issue of Strategy and Tactics magazine number 344 from Decision Games, courtesy of Decision Games. So thank you, Decision, for sending this my way. This is the game edition. We do have a game, which is the Great Turkish War of the Balkans, 1683 to 1699. So let's take a look first at the magazine. It is, typical S&T these days. Perfect bound. Looks like 80 or 82 pages. We will mention the ads because they're war games, and this is a war game channel. So first off, we get an ad for the first two volumes of Battles in the East. Volumes 3 and 4 are in preparation. Here's Axis Empire's Ultimate Edition, which, if the schedule goes according to plan, you should have seen my relatively lengthy unboxing of this prior to the release of this video. This looks pretty impressive. Also from Decision Games. So table of contents, we have the Great Turkish War, Joan of Arc's Lair campaign, the war in Nagorno-Karabakh, wherever that is. Where is that? Azerbaijan, late 2020? Okay. Command of the Seas, U.S. entry into World War I. That sounds intriguing, actually. And then we've got all the regular columns. So Great Turkish War by Javier Romero Munoz we'll look at the game in a minute. Nice big spread map here of the Ottoman Empire at this time. 17th century, Battle of Kahlenberg, Hungarian Rebellion, the Cossacks and the Polish-Turkish War. Here's our Great Turkish War rulebook. And as usual for these nowadays, this design is by Javier Romero Munoz. I think they're the same person. This is like glued into the middle of the magazine, so you don't have to disassemble the magazine to get the thing out. You just kind of have to peel it out carefully. Nice map over here. Rules are usually on these. They amount to about 16 pages. Indeed, they do in this case. So it is a hex encounter game. Looks like we've got a counter key here with just a wee bit of problem in that offset. Not a huge deal, but it's a bit amusing. Typical decision layout for nowadays. Player aid pullout sheet. Okay, is this perforated? It kind of feels like it is. No, but it's in the middle, so that'd be why. So you get a whole player aid that you can pull out of the middle here, or you can do what I will do. Put it on the all-in-one printer, photocopy it, and print them out on cardstock. Intriguing topic. This is another, kind of one of those conflicts that's important, and we don't traditionally pay a lot of attention to it in the wargaming space. So here's an ad for the World at War issue that just came out, Baltic Offensive. Check out my unboxing of that. Here is a Great Turkish War article on design by Joe Miranda. And I'm a little surprised that this is not a Joe Miranda design, actually. This is the kind of thing that I would expect from Joe, in that it is an interesting conflict that we have not traditionally seen a lot on. Joan of Arc's Lair campaign by Peter Soros, whose name I hope I'm not mangling too bad. This seems intriguing as well. 15th century, 100 Years War business. Sea Lion, you all have already seen my unboxing of this because as of this filming, that's already been released. Here's the war in Nagorno-Karabakh by Maciej Jonas. Hopefully I'm not messing that up too bad. So this began just as we sent the issue to press. That's interesting. Okay. So this sounds like a article on a hypothetical conflict that basically broke out. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Armenians and Azerbaijani. Okay. So I'm a little unclear as to whether that's happening or not happening or hypothetical or what. I'll have to read the article to figure that out. That sounds super interesting. Okay. Ex-Soviet tensions. This is going to be a back issue. Very interesting. This is a game on this conflict from a previous issue of Modern War magazine, which has been suspended. There's no more Modern War. Now we just have Strategy and Tactics and a World at War. And then here's Suwalki Gap, which is a hypothetical Russian attack on the Baltic states in the near future. And that looks interesting too. And here's Nine Navies War. This I haven't looked at all. This is 1915. So World War I at sea is kind of what it sounds like. Okay. And it does say actually using a derivation of the classic Avalon Hill War at sea. So I was right about that. Okay. That sounds intriguing. Command of the Seas, U.S. entry into World War I. This is always an interesting topic, so can't wait to read this. The quality of the magazine articles, I feel like in the history of S&T, based on, the vagaries of informational availability, have generally been very strong, and I think they remain so to this day. Andrew Jackson's Battles, that's interesting. This is coming up S&T, actually 346. Tanks of August, the next issue, Georgia 2008, 346. That was 345. 346 is Andrew Jackson's Battles. 347 is Operation Holland, alternative Battle of the Bulge. I believe that to be a Ty Bomba design. 348, Siege of Jerusalem, AD 70. That'd be interesting to see. There's been a number of games on that. Well, there's been a couple games on that. Let me put it that way. 349, the Korean War, and 350, Rêve de Gloire, Europe, 1805 to 1814. That I've been keeping an eye on. That sounds pretty interesting. AEF's first tank fight by Joe Miranda. Patton in the Battle of Saint Mihiel. My French is failing me. Which is, happens all the time. Did you know? Okay, some cool facts here. Flashpoint Middle East, the Wagner Group in the Middle East, U.S. combat aircraft for Argentina by a variety of different authors. Russian ecological warfare in the Ukraine. U.S., Indonesia, and others, joint military exercise. Titus Labienus, Caesar's lieutenant, or Labienus. I'm not sure if that's a long E or not. Ancient Battles. I've got Caesar's War, actually. It's pretty good. It's in the minis series from Decision. Battle of Naseby, 14 June 1645 by Patrick Baker. A lot of good stuff here. A lot of good stuff. It's not all just circulating around this 15th century, 16th century Turkish War. Oh, very good. Forts Henry and Donaldson, Origin of U.S. Joint Operations. Here we have Grant and Foote. Or is a... I don't know. I always like to pronounce it Foot, but of course it's Foot. War of 1812 in the a recent or upcoming or something Strategy and Tactics Quarterly. Quest for Annihilation. That's a new book, actually. They do occasionally do books at Strategy and Tactics Press, by the way. Here's a book review of air power in the Falklands conflict for those interested in that. It's something that we don't get to see a lot of traffic on. Here's the mega feedback survey of what we're going to see in upcoming issues. And I appreciate very much that they do this, actually, giving the people that actually buy the magazine some feedback opportunities to figure out what we're going to actually see. So I will 100% submit this. If I didn't do so online already, and I might have, you could generally do this online. I'll generally do it online rather than tear the magazine apart. Okay, the long tradition. We're getting this now. This is the kind of thing you used to see in Scientific American or something like that. That's been around for National Geographic. It's been around for 150 years. 100 issues ago, 200 issues ago, and 300 issues ago. So that's how long S&T's been around, since the very early 70s or maybe even late 60s, I forget. SPI took it over in, I think, 70 or 71, something like that. Number of back issues you can get. American Bible Society serves both sides in the Mexican War. This is an ad from presumably the American Bible Society, thus the sponsored content thing. And here we got an ad probably for the same people. So S&T Quarterly is a separate magazine that you can subscribe to, and it's all military history. There's no game. So let's take a quick look at the game that's included, actually. This is relatively interesting. Like I said, it's nice to see games on topics that we don't see all the time. And historically, historically, S&T's been very good about that. And even more so now that kind of World War II gets its own magazine, right? And you don't have to suck up issues of S&T with a variety of World War II topics that we've seen a million times before. All right, so this is the Great Turkish War, the Balkans, 1683 to 1699. Map here is by Joe Youst. And once again, the game design is by Javier Romero. It's a hex, it's got a hex map. The counters they look like 5/8" counters to me on the thicker brown core stock, but this to me doesn't feel as thick as the stuff that's in the boxed games. But it's still nice and thick. Nobody's going to complain that these are too thin. Looks like these are going to be the Turks, because I can see counters for Janissaries here. Here we're going to have the Holy Roman Empire. Here's the Kingdom of Poland. Gray looks like it's markers, and here we have Austrians. So down here on the map, we can see we have the Holy Roman Empire up here. We have Poland, which is a major power at this time. We have Russia up in the corner, which you may or may not be able to see. And the Ottoman Empire, which, let's say this is past its historical zenith. Interesting looking game, double-sided counters. Counters look nice. This is going to be a pretty easy game to play if magazine games in general are anything to go by. So that's been a super quick look at the Great Turkish War and S&T Magazine, issue number 344. Once again, courtesy of Decision Games. So thank you, Decision Games, for sending this my way. Looks very interesting. We may bust this out at... Well, we'll talk about that later on the counter clipping stream, about our plan to get more of these smaller format games to the table. So in the meantime, I'd like to give a shout out to the patrons of Ardwulf's Lair, without whose support and encouragement it would not be possible to continue doing the stuff that we do here on the channel. So thank you, patrons. I'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, happy wargaming.